All right, mixed media and acrylic, welcome. We've got a lot of things that I need you to prepare for this particular project in monoprinting. You need a substance that you're going to print on. I'm going to use this piece of paper. It works really well for material. It could even just be the back of an old t-shirt that you want to turn into a book cover, whatever it is you want. You need a flat surface to put it. This is an old cookie tin that I've lined with foil so that it doesn't get paint all over the cookie tin. You're going to need something that you can roll paint on, and you're going to need a roller in order to do it. So make sure whatever you're rolling it in, it's big enough. Then you're going to go outside and find a bunch of fresh green greenery. And when I say fresh, I mean that the bark part cannot be hard or stiff or anything like that. It needs to be able to literally bend and move, and that would be perfect. It can be from a tree, just needs to be the fresh greens. This is a vine outside, and on this particular one, all the veins are on the back side of the vine. So if you paint this side, the veins will show in the actual printing that we're going to do. You're going to need a cover of some kind. And whether that's an old shirt that you've gotten something just to pad the area, because you're going to press into the paper with our rolling pin, and you don't want to push. You just want the pin itself to the weight of it to push the paint around so that you don't smear the paint and squish the paint out. You don't want to press it. That's why we don't roll it through a press. This is another type of monoprinting that we do with live things. It turns out really fun. All right, class, we're going to take our roller, and this is just Artist Loft acrylic paint. You want to make sure that it's not a runny paint. So if you start to pour it out and it's kind of running, you need thicker paint than that for this particular project. And I'm just going to lightly put a little bit of paint on my roller. And usually I put the paint at the top, but no, well, it is what it is. And we're going to fill up our roller with the paint. Then we're going to move over to our plant that we chose outside. And this is kind of important. You want to go in the direction that the plant is growing because it's fresh. If you pull back, it could flip it over and stick it down and stuff like that. So you're going to want to make sure that you go in the direction that the leaves are growing. I guess that's just in one direction. And you're going to just fill up the plant, including the stick, with paint. I'm going to set that aside. Actually, I think I'm going to put just a little bit more down here. Yeah, there we go. And now we're going to print it onto our paper. And you're going to very carefully pick it up. Your hands probably will get dirty. And you're going to turn it over. And I usually grab the one at the farthest tip just to kind of guide. And I just kind of bounce it down wherever it's going to land. That was probably a little too hard for the bouncing. And this is where we're going to pick up our rolling pin. And if you don't have a rolling pin, or your mom doesn't want you to use one, or whatever, then you can take a glass, a cup, a tea glass or whatever, and you're going to put a piece of paper over this, and this is going to be blotter paper, and it's going to get paint on it, so you can reuse this again and again. You just have to let it dry in between each layer, and then you're just going to, roll the rolling pin. And if you do get any paint for any reason, you just wipe it off while it's still wet, and it'll just come right off. And you can just add water for later. And now this may have some paint on it, so you need to set that aside. And this is our monoprint. lift it carefully. And this will be our print that we're doing for this particular class. So this will be how we do our printing process for our piece of artwork. So acrylic class, I hope you can use this in your backgrounds, in different areas and stuff like that. But mixed media class, I want to go ahead and do a second printing. You do need to let this dry in between. So we're going to get us out some more paint. We're going to pick a different leaf shape. Oh my goodness. There we go. And I found some really cool leaves from a grapevine that grows wild behind our house there. And I'm going to turn them over and put the paint on this side so that I can get the veining in the leaves to show up. Now you do want to make sure that you do this with while the paint is still wet. Don't let the paint dry on your roller. So if you're only doing one, then you're done. Go clean your roller. But if you want to do some more, we're going to put the paint onto our little grapevine leaves. I don't know why I put them in these corners. You can just put them right on top because it's not going to show that other side. So here, I'll just move them into the middle. Get plenty of paint on it. And do this one as well. And there isn't any reason you can't do this in a color scheme too. So it's a lot of fun to do background leaf colors, really pale, like a, just like a really soft color. Say it was baby blue or something. And then you can do a medium blue and then a dark blue, however you want to do that. Now, I could turn that blotter paper over that I had used before, but I just got another piece. This is just typing paper from my printer, right? So you don't have to have anything like really, special. You could even use paper towels or whatever. I have noticed that sometimes when using paper towels that the print on the paper towel itself, it can transfer. So I've actually had the U and the N of Bounty show up in a print because Bounty paper towels has the word Bounty embedded into the piece. All right. So you can't see any paint on there, but it's white on white. So we're going to pull these up. See how you get the veining if you do the vein side? It'd be really soft if you do it on the other side. A really soft look. Oh, that one turned out really pretty too. Look at that. Oh, that veining, right? This is so fun. I hope you enjoy doing this as much as I do. I have this little tree limb. This little leaf is wanting to curl up on itself. Whoops. I think I'm just going to get rid of it. Because that one's not going to, it's not going to do really, really well. Get us a little bit more of the paint. Well, there you go. Ink up. And I like to get it all over. That's why I lay it down to press against the paper plate. It's a foam plate actually, so it doesn't matter. I've never used an actual paper plate. I always have used the paper plates that have the coating on them. And because the wax that's in that coating really helps it to for the paint not to soak inside, and then you can get the most for your print there. Okay, I think I might just put this on top. Or I could bring it in, or I could print it on the back. I think I'm just going to put it there. I'll let them overlap just a little bit. And get the first page that should be dry by now. And we're going to roll it. And I'm not pushing super hard or anything like that. Just letting the, my table is very wobbly, so I'm having to hold it up. Wow, this one did a ghost image. It stuck to this paper instead. I might be able to lay it down again, but I kind of like the ghost images that happen. Well, this is monoprinting, guys. Works good on any color paper. You can use, like I said, you can use any material. I like to actually kind of, it's not really tie-dye, but it's like tea dye, or do different kind of background colors, you know, so there'd be some blue and some black and some purples or whatever, and then put the white or beige or peach or something like that on top. And so if I did a peach, then I could do like a coral, then I could do like a bright orange, and have that that mottled background. I just usually take a stamp, a sponge. Take a sponge with some black around the edges, and then some blues, and then some purples or whatever, and it kind of looks like it's glowing out. And then I put my my plants on, and just make sure they're nice and green so that they move really well, and they'll work great for you. All right, guys, have fun monoprinting. I can't wait to see what you do. Please, please, please send me pictures of what you do. There isn't any reason you can't come back in and do some design work in the background, some line work and stuff like that, or go around edges with a bright color or something. Have fun with it. I can't wait to see what you create.